Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the interesting profile new features for profile. This is actually just an introductory to some new features that are actually going to be released this coming Thursday. So you'll see firsthand what these new features are and how to use them today. They will be available on Thursday. And if you're looking for these new features and what's happening with CRA in connection with Profile, there is another webinar coming up, I believe, towards the end of November, and look out for that one. It'll be similar to what I'm going to be talking about today, but that one is going to have a little bit more on what CRA has done and how it's affecting the software. Okay, so today is going to be more in depth into the two features that are going to be available to you this coming Thursday. Before I do that, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Jeffrey, and if you haven't seen these webinars before, I've been doing them for the past 4 years, I believe, and really enjoy doing them aside from doing the how-to videos. And if you sign up for the tours that are happening this year, you'll probably see me at some of them. So if you're looking to sign up for those and you don't know where, just reach out to me and I can show you where the link is and you can register for that live training. Okay. So what are the new releases when it comes to, so what are the new features when it comes to this release that's happening on Thursday? Well, the release that's going to be coming out is going to be the release 1. And those features are, and this has been a big revisions in the backup solution, and it's called Backup to Cloud. Now, for those who've been using Profile for some years, you may be familiar with backup available to you in Profile, but there is, this one has been revised. So we've taken out the middle part to it called review. You won't have to log into the review, but you do need your OneIntuit account credentials. That would be an email and a password. If you haven't signed up for that, you can sign up for free. I can show you where that is. So you do need that for backup to cloud. The functionality has changed a little bit, and I'll show you what it looks like in this demo today. The other feature, so there's two features that I'm going to introduce to you today. The second feature is available for T2s. And it allows you to upload source documents with your T2 return to CRA. And that option is called Attach a Doc. Okay, so first option is Backup to Cloud. And the second option available for T2s is something called Attach a Doc, which means that with Attach a Doc, it means that you can attach a document to the return and it will be sent to CRA. Sometimes CRA may ask for source documents for proof. Then you can attach those documents as you send the return. Okay, so let's go right into it and take a look and talk about backup to cloud. Okay. So those are the two things we're going to be talking about today, backup to cloud and attach a doc. So backup to cloud. Let me give you a quick introduction of what it is. Backup to cloud enables your profile files. And just remember that it's only current year only. And you'll back up your files to the cloud using your OneIntuit account. Okay, and it's important that you must be logged in to back up your files to the cloud. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to talk about how to enable backup to cloud. So I'm going to go right into Profile first and show you what do you need to do to log in to your account. Okay. So within ProFile, when you open ProFile after the next release, which is happening on Thursday, you should get a window, so an introductory window talking about this one here, backup to cloud. Okay. Now the first option is you can enable it from here or remind me later. You can learn more about what backup to cloud is. So you have to enable it, choose when to backup, and download on demand. So it gives you these three options here. And I'm going to show you all these three options here. Okay, your first option to enable backup to cloud is here, and I'll show you the second one. But first thing I want to show you is how to go into your One Intuit account. Under the online menu, you have the option to sign in. Okay. You click on to sign in, and you'll get this window where it's going to ask you for an email address or user ID. This is something that you've already created if you've been working with ProFile in the past. It's your credentials. So it's an email address or user ID that you've created. Okay. And then you would just put in your password. Now, if you've forgotten any of these credentials, you can use this I forgot my user ID or password. And if you haven't created an account with us, then go ahead and create an account. Okay, that will enable you to use your credentials and your information and create an account using an email address and a password, and you can use your user ID or you create a user ID. Okay, it's as easy as that. You may need some information like your when you purchase your software, you'll get an invoice. It may ask you for a service number, may ask you for a license. So have that readily available just in case it will ask you to authenticate your account. Okay. When you do have your email and user ID, all you have to do is just apply your password and then sign in to your One Intuit account. Okay. And I'm going to connect. Usually it would just be one option. If you've been working with us from the past, it may ask you a variety of companies. So you have to pick which company you want to associate your backup to. Okay, I'm just going to use this current company, or current tax company. I'm going to connect that business, and then that's it. It's already set. I'm signed in, and I'm ready to use the backup solution or backup to cloud. Like I mentioned, to enable backup to cloud, when you first open up ProFile, you can actually connect or enable backup to cloud by clicking on the option to enable. Okay. The second option is under the options menu, under environment, and then just scroll across until you see the tab backup to cloud. And this is where you can select enable backup to cloud for this computer and select automatically backup returns on saving. It just means that as soon as you have backup enabled and you start to work on a return and you save it, it will automatically be backed up to the cloud. Excuse me for a second. So let me enable that. And I'm going to press OK to confirm. And now I can open up a return whether it's a T1 or T2, and it works with only the current year. So just remember that you can do this for 2019 or a current fiscal year for T2. Okay. All right, so I have a return here open for Alexander. I want to take a look and see if I can back this up. So under your file properties, if you look at the bottom, you'll see whether the backup to cloud is enabled for just this return. So what that means is if this is switched off, then your backup is disabled, even if you've logged into your one account. So in order for me to back up this return or choose not to back up the return, I would have to go to this section here, backup to cloud. Okay. I'm going to enable it, and the status is now ready to back up. And so what that means is as soon as I press OK to save this return, it's going to back up this return right up to the cloud account. Okay. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to press OK, and now it's backed up to the cloud. I'm going to open up a T2 and show you what steps you need to take in order for you to back up a T2. And again, if you've enabled backup to cloud, you can also do it for T2s. Okay. Once my T2 comes up, I can show you. Okay. So I'm just going to double check to make sure that my backup to cloud is enabled. I can do that under the options environment. Backup to cloud is still enabled and still set on automatic when I save the return. Okay. I'm going to take a look under the file properties. Make sure that I can back up to cloud. It's enabled just for this return. And then the status is ready to back up. So if I press OK, it's going to be backed up to the cloud. Okay. Now this option or these steps that I just showed you works for one return, right? If you want to do batch backup, there's an option for that when you use Hub. Okay. And I'll show you that in a moment. Let me just check my notes here and make sure that I've covered everything that I can. Okay, looks like we've covered that. I'm going to show you how to do a batch backup using Hub. Okay, and then I'll show you how to access the files, where they're stored, and then how to download them onto your system. Okay, so let's look at Hub. I'm going to open up Hub by going under the Go To menu, and I'm going to select Hub. And here I have Hub. If you don't have Hub, if you tried this step, it just means that you haven't enabled ProFile Hub. Okay, you just have to switch it on, do your indexing or read the files where your files are stored, browse for them, and then have ProFile read your files. Okay, so I have my files here in my ProFile Hub, and I can take a look. If I scroll across, you'll notice that there's a new column available if you've been using Hub. This is a new column that we've added, and it tells you what the backup status of the file is. For example, Maria Ortiz, her file was backed up on November 13th at 2:49 p.m. Okay. Or we can look at Mary Perez, and it looks like her file was backed up on 4:52 p.m. November 13th. Okay. And you'll see that there's some other files that are ready to be backed up. So let's take a look at Alexander here, or Thomas Alexander. And I can back up his file as a single file by doing a check mark and then going under the action, and then I have the option to back up to the cloud. If you don't have this option, then it just means that you're probably signed out of your One Intuit account. You could also sign into your account by clicking on this icon here. It will usually say sign in. Because I'm signed in, I can sign out from here. Okay. So I'm going to use the backup to cloud, and it's going to run and back up that one file. Okay. Looks like the backup failed, which is fine. I just wanted to show you what the backup status shows you when a file is fails when you do a backup. Okay. If it's successful, you'll have this green check mark or green cloud with a check mark. If it's failed, then it will do a backup failed. What if you want to back up numerous files? Well, all you have to do is either you can select them all and then go under action and then backup, okay? Or you can just select a few, okay? And then you can do backup to file or backup to the cloud, okay? So that's if you want to do multiple files. If you want to just do a single, then you can uncheck them. Oh, looks like, oh, I see. The year was not supported. It's because it was a 2018 return, okay? If it was a 2019 return, then it would be fine. And so you know that it only works for current year. Right, so I'm going to do a filter for T2s and see, okay, so it's ready to be backed up. I think this should be okay. Back up to the cloud. It's going to run it through, and if it qualifies, then it will be successful. Okay, that one failed too. It's probably because this is a server. It's a working production server, so it probably didn't work. But if you get, if it is successful, you'll get icons that look like the T1s that I showed you. Okay. Now, you probably asked, is it available for other modules? At the moment, Hub only covers T1 and T2. Okay. If you want to back up a T3, let me just take a look here. I'm going to create a new T3. See if I can do it for FX. Now again, Hub only supports T1 and T2. If you want to back up your FX or T3, you'll have to do them return by return or file by file. So in this case, I'm in FX. It's the same as T3. I would make sure that I enable backup, and then I can press OK, and it will back up this FX file up to the cloud. Okay, so you won't be able to do it through Hub, but you can do them single file. All right, same with the T3s. You just take the steps of going under the file properties, enable backup to cloud for this return by putting a check mark and then pressing OK, and then it will back up that file up to the cloud. Okay. Now, where do the files go? If you've worked with ProFile Review in the past, it used to be under ProFile Review, or you would have to log in under a separate portal, which would be online, and then you'd be able to see your files. What we've done this year is we've improved that experience by putting it just right, built within ProFile. And so now you can access your files right under the online menu and download returns from the cloud. You'll get a window that looks like the hub window, but it's not the hub window. It's the backup to cloud window. Okay. And you'll notice that there are some T1 files here. Let me see if I can scroll down and see if any T2 files. Okay. You'll notice that there's T2 files. There are no FX files. Oh, there is 15X. Okay. So you'll find your FX files and your T3 files in this window if you've already saved them from the past. Okay. So you'll be able to access those files through this window. So what can you do in this window? Well, you can select the file and you can download onto your computer. You can also do it under the action, download return or returns, or you can delete the file. Okay. You can filter using the years, and you can search a client name or by file extension. Okay. So if you wanted to download numerous ones, you just select them. Under the action, you have the option to delete returns, or you can use the icon here under the action column. Okay. You have a download or delete. And that just gives you an update on what was done, when was it last uploaded, or when was it last uploaded to backup to cloud. All right. So easy enough. Just as a quick review, if you want to save your file up to the cloud as a backup, you can either do it under the file properties and then select enable backup for this return. Again, remembering that you need to have your credentials and you have to be signed in. Otherwise, this option won't be available. The other option is go under the hub. You can select the return, and then under the action, backup to cloud. Hub enables you to do more than one return to back up to the cloud. You can select multiple returns, and then you can back up to the cloud. Okay. Again, Hub only has, you can only view T1s and T2s or work with T1s and T2s through Hub. If you have to back up a T3 or an FX, you would have to do it through file properties. To access your files, you can do it under the online menu and then download returns or select download returns, and you'll be able to see your returns in this backup to cloud window. And you're able to download the file if you ever lose a file on your computer. Okay. So that's the basics to backup to cloud. It's available to you as of the release on Thursday. I'm going to pause for a moment. If you have any questions, please post them in the question section of the GoToWebinar. If not, then I can continue to attach a document. Okay. You just make sure that I've covered everything. Oh, just in case you're asking yourself this question. When you download the files, when you're in that window, this backup window, if you delete the file from here, for example, if I select it and then I select delete here, it only deletes it as a backup and not the original file. Okay, just in case you were wondering about that. All right. I think I covered everything from when it comes to backup to cloud. All right, looks like we don't have any questions, so what I'll do is I'll proceed to attach a doc. Oh, looks like we have the questions here. So our first question is, let me just expand this out. Sorry, folks. Where are the servers? Are they in Canada? Maybe I missed it, but what is the security on cloud server? Okay, so the security function on our cloud servers, it's owned by Intuit, so they are safe. It is high level security. It's bank level encryption. So it's pretty high. They are stored in numerous places. One of our servers are in Canada. There are servers in the US, but I believe our main servers that we use are in Canada. Okay. How safe are the returns to the cloud? They are pretty safe. Again, we use a high security encryption. We haven't had any issues with breaching. We actually have individuals that only make sure that our servers or any of our computer systems are secure. That's all they do 24 hours to make sure that any type of servers or computers that we use are secure, okay? And are the social insurance numbers encrypted? Any files that are stored up to the cloud are encrypted, so there won't be any issues when it comes to any data breaches, okay? And if you're concerned, I can reach out to PD and maybe they can get some documentation. I usually send out an email at the end of the day or after the webinar. So if you have any additional questions when it comes to this, send me a message and I'll try to get you the information. Okay, folks? All right, great questions. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate the participations. All right, let's get right into attach a doc. Now, attach a doc is only meant for T2s. The scenario is where you have a client. Let me just get back into my slide here. There we go. You have a client, you sent their T2s. I was talking to someone earlier today, and a good scenario would be you sent their T2s, you have already filed their return, and they come back and they're missing information, or they gave you a document that needed to amend the T2 return. So what you want to do is you want to amend the return and also provide the source document or the document that your client supplied to you, and you want to show CRA that there was additional information or additional documents. So you can use this attach a doc feature, and this has been opened up by CRA, and it's allowed corporations to transmit supporting documents via our software called attach a doc. And the attach a doc has to be done within 24 hours. It's just a CRA requirement, all right? So as soon as you send in a return, you have to attach the documents, or as soon as you send an amended return, you have to send the documents within 24 hours. And I'll show you how to attach a document, okay? Now, what files does it support? When you attach documents such as PDFs, Word documents, Excel documents, you can send text documents or image files like JPEG or TIFF or XPS. Those are the ones that are mainly supported, okay? But there's a limitation to CRA. There's a limitation to the size that you can send to CRA. And they recommend anything less than 150 MBs or megabits. Okay, so it has to be less than 150 megabits in file size. All right. So just as a recap, CRA is now allowing tax preparers to transmit corporations with supporting documents using our software called Attach a Doc. And again, it has to be done within 24 hours. And the supported documents are PDFs, doc, XLS, meaning Excel, TXT files, image files like JPEG, TIFF, and XPS. Okay. Now, how do you attach a file using ProFile? Well, there's two methods. The first one is, let me go right into ProFile here and open up a T2. The first option you have is a right click. And that will enable you to see an option for attach a doc. Okay, you just click on to that. The second option is under the eFile menu. And you'll have another option called attach a doc. Both give you the same window. Okay, so I can select attach a doc from here under the eFile window, or I can right click and select attach a doc. It'll give me the same window that you'll see. Okay, or you can do it either way. Okay, now one person here, is there a limit on the number of returns we can back up to cloud? Would there be a cost in the future? Okay, great question. Backtracking here, backup to cloud does not have any limitations. Will there be costs in the future? Again, it's free to you. There's no extra cost. We just wanted to build it in as a backup solution for you, especially for a desktop, because sometimes your computers, and I've seen this numerous times actually, where someone comes in and they say that my hard drive crashed or my computer's operating system crashed and I have no idea how I'm going to get my files. If it's separate from your system, such as backup to cloud, you can retrieve those files from our cloud server. You do, of course, reinstall ProFile, but because it's backup to the cloud, it's separate from your system and you're able to download those files, okay? We don't want to, there's no plans in the future to charge you for that option. Okay, great question. All right, so attach a doc, right click, attach a doc. It's going to open up a window. You search for the file. Under this option here, eFile, you'll get this window, but as soon as you select browse, you'll see that window that we saw when we right clicked and selected attach a doc. Okay, so I'm going to attach the doc file here and I press open, and I can put a document type. So I have a bunch of options here to describe what document I'm attaching. Just going to put, what did I have? Let's just put financial statements. Nope, it's not letting me. There is there's one here that it accepts Yep. And then I would put, so I just put elections. So you'd have to make sure that it matches up, okay? And then you put the description of the file. I'm just going to put a description, elections, oops. I'm going to put supporting document. Right, as my description, of course, you'd have to put in and select the document type in accordance to what you're attaching, and put a good description for CRA. Okay. Once I've done that, I can press save, and then now it's attached to me filing or transmitting the attachment to CRA. Okay. In this window, you have the capability to preview the attachment, so whatever file that you've attached. You can delete it just in case you don't need it, or you put in the wrong file, you can delete the attachment, or you can edit the attachment details, which gives you this window here. Okay. Again, as a reminder, before you do this, you have to have the file to CRA. And then once you've done that, you can use the option under eFile to attach a document. Okay. I have my two files here. I'm going to transmit the attachment to CRA. And of course, as I mentioned, you have to file the return first. Okay. Let me see if I can file the return from here. Oh, I don't have enough information. Sorry, folks. I don't have enough information. I should have created the T2 return with more information. But all you got to do is once you e-file the return, you can go to attach a doc, browse for the file, attach it, put in your description of what the file is, or put in your detail type too, and then description, and then transmit the attachment. Okay. And it's going to go through a few steps, a few windows. If you're looking for the, what I'll do, because I think the article itself is going to be sent out on Thursday when the release is available, just send me a reminder to send you the article link. That way you can see the exact windows. Okay. All you have to do is just follow the windows of attaching the CRA, and then once it's successful, it's going to give you a log that the attachment transmitted will be successful or it failed. Okay, so just come to this window here, or this tab, and it'll show you the log of the attachment log or transmission log. All right. And I think that is it. So the document type is a mandatory. So entering the description for the attached doc is a mandatory field for CRA requirements. Okay, so just remember that. And I think I have shared everything that I can. Again, as a recap, things to know, the attached file must be transmitted within 24 hours of the T2 return. If you're uploading files or source documents or supporting documents, make sure they're 150 megabits in file size or less. And it must be an approved file type, like I mentioned. Document, Word document, PDFs, Excel, image documents like JPEG, TIFF, or XPS. All you have to do is just follow the windows, and you will need to select your credentials. So either you're going to be using your e-file credentials a WAC code or WAC, or you can have ProFile generate a WAC for you in order for you to transmit the attached documents, okay? And make sure you print a confirmation for your records when you get a successful transmission of your attachments, all right? Right, folks, I think that's it for me. I just wanted to give you an idea of what was coming out on Thursday when it came to these two new features. I will be introducing this not so much in a high level when I talk about new features in ProFile on November 28th, I believe. So if you haven't signed up for that, go ahead and do so. I'll be talking about this at a more condensed level, but I will also mention things that are happening within ProFile due to CRA changes. So you don't want to miss out on that one. Okay, folks, I still have some time. If you want to ask me some questions, I can do so. If not, look out for the email that I'll be sending out and respond back to me if you're looking for anything. I do record these webinars in case you just want to review and let me know. I can give you the link to that recorded webinar. And if you need our support information, here it is. The support number is 1-800-452-9970. You could also message us under the help menu. There's a messaging option. You can message us or chat with us using that option. To learn more about ProFile, you can use this link here or use the ProFile user guide. It's right under the help menu. It's a really extensive step-by-step guide where you can learn more about ProFile. Great for sharing with new employees. If you're training your employees for just the season, have them go through the user guide or the link that is shown here to go to our ProFile website under our training, okay? And the last thing I want to mention is just thank you for your support. I really appreciate you registering for these webinars, and I hope you learned something today. Look out for future webinars that you want to register for. I've already set it up until the end of April. I try to make them appropriate according to the time of the season. So if you're looking for database, usually I put it towards February or March and April to do those kind of database filtering to save you some time and make sure that you're covering all your bases when it comes to e-filing all the returns. So look out for those webinar content. And if there's something that you see you're interested in, go ahead and sign up. All right. All right, folks, that's it for me today. It looks like there's no questions. I'm going to give you back your day. Look out for the email. I'll be sending it out in the next 10-15 minutes. And again, thank you so much. See you again, and bye for now.